Greetings, everybody. We're back. Week 5. Are we on 5 now?
Yeah, just because you don't know how to count when you're not here, it doesn't mean that
Yeah,
they don't count.
Yeah. I
We
wanted
not
to
on week 3,
establish
dog.
this.
We not on week
Are,
3.
are you sure?
I'm confident.
Because some teams are playing like we still on week 3.
Hey, real talk, dog. We got some teams that have a win-loss record that tells me they wish we was still on week 3.
Yo, how are
Houston.
teams still playing like this is preseason? I don't get it.
Because it is still preseason. That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of the problem, huh?
Use preseason the way it's meant to be. So this is the first week where your starters should be starting after a preseason.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like it has been preseason. The problem is some teams didn't get the memo and they've been playing like it was the real season.
Hmm.
But yeah.
But we're here, week 5.
Yep.
And it's time to make some picks. Before we start though, we'll talk about the one game that's already happened. We failed on this one. Did we with the spread? What was the spread for this game?
The spread was +3 for Indy.
So we tied.
No, +3 for Indy.
Oh, Indy got 3. Okay.
We would have had to have taken Indy to get it right.
Yeah. So we got this wrong. We posted.
I almost got it right. I almost
on
took
our last
Indy.
video. I thought about it,
but then with Jonathan Taylor being out,
yeah, with Jonathan Taylor, I was like, nah, Indy's not gonna win this, and we were wrong.
Yeah.
But if I'm being frank, neither team should have won this game. They both sucked.
Facts.
This was a horrible game to watch.
Facts.
Horrible.
Facts.
I couldn't finish it. It was just. Yeah,
it was
just
rolling
bad.
around. I turned it off. I went and played Overwatch 2.
It wasn't worth it.
No.
I mean, I was watching. Like while I was watching, I was just explaining why everything was bad, why the plays were bad. I'm like talking out loud. This is why this play's bad. This is why this play's bad. This is why these refs suck. Everything about the game was awful.
It wasn't good.
I couldn't do it. In the first half, one of the offensive linemen on, I think it was the Colts, had like 4 penalties on him within the first half, and most of them weren't his fault. I didn't see real holds. And anyway, I'm going
What's
into
crazy
deep.
Though, if we being honest, he had like 3 or 4 holding penalties in the first half. Zach Martin, the lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, he's had 6 in his whole career.
That's nuts.
He's in his 7th year, or no, he's in his like 9th year in the league. He's been to 7 Pro Bowls. He's been to more Pro Bowls than times he's been flagged for holding in his career. What a I saw that stat. I'm like, that's insane.
That's nuts.
How do you go more than 3 years and not get flagged at least 6 times for fucking holding?
When it's so easy to be called for holding, even though they're bullshit holds.
And if we're being honest, sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Because here's the reality. What's more important? Losing a couple yards because you got caught for holding, or letting your quarterback get rocked? I'm just saying.
Sometimes it's worth it. Yeah. I mean, we've seen what happens this past few years. What happens when a quarterback just start taking way too many hits.
Which, real quick, I just want to address it. I didn't address it in the last video because I wanted to wait until Brett was here so we could both say our sentiments. We don't know the whole situation when it comes to the medical examinations for Tua Tagovailoa. What happened after his game in week 3. We watched the footage from his stumble in week 3. We watched the footage of him getting slammed down to the ground. And for lack of a better term, what looked like he was almost having a seizure in week 4. We do not know the full situation on the medical staff and what happened in his exams. We don't know the full extent of his injuries, but if I'm not a religious person, my thoughts are with Tua. If you are a religious person, I encourage you to have your thoughts and prayers with Tua, because what he went through was hard to watch. Genuinely, it made watching the rest of that game last Thursday unpleasant, because all I could think about was that hit he took.
It really is a shame that another person has to get hurt before we take the concussion seriously again.
Because look, I don't. Again, we don't know what happened, but in week 3, I would have put money on him having a concussion.
Yeah.
Like, I would have put money on it. And then he came back in the second half, and I thought it was crazy. But he played fine. And then he gets hurt again, and now it's going to be a whole can of worms, and we don't know a lot about it. And we will talk about it more on the podcast in the next episode, so definitely check that out if you want to. But we just wanted to address that real quick. Tua, we hope you're recovering well. I know that you were released from the hospital that night and got to travel home to Miami that night, which is all good signs. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care if Tua ever plays again. I just hope that he never has long-lasting issues from this.
Yeah. I hope this doesn't affect him the rest of his life.
I like Tua. I really do. And I hope he plays again. But in the grand scheme of things, I'd rather him never play football again and be able to live a full, healthy life.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I felt bad that I didn't talk about it last time, but I wanted Brett to be here because I knew he shared those sentiments. So that's why we waited to address it until now. That being said, now we can get into the rest of our picks this week. Real quick, just because Brett can't see this information, but I can. Current standings. Brett, you are ahead of me by 1 pick. You have one more correct than I do. I am at 29, 33, and 3. You are at 30, 32, and 3. We have started to use the pushes as actual ties in the records just because if we counted them as losses, it was starting to get painful to look at.
We have feelings too, guys. Okay?
They're not important, but we do have them.
No, but we have them.
So why don't you start us off with the first game, Brett?
All right. So we got the New York Giants traveling to London. And the Green Bay Packers also traveling to London.
They're not playing each other. They're just both traveling there for funsies.
They're just both going there. Nice big vacation. I hear both teams are having a great time. Special note for this game. Green Bay was the only team to not play in London.
Up until
and
this.
So that will be broken now.
Yep.
So they're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
This game has a plus 7.5 going to New York.
Yeah.
Getting 7.5 points.
Which, if we're being honest, New York's been playing good football. Their only loss so far is to Dallas.
Yeah, they haven't been playing bad. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to choose against Green Bay on this one. So,
I agree.
Like in most situations, but definitely going against New York. And I'm going with Green Bay here.
I think Green Bay needs it.
They do. They do.
I mean, New York does
certain
too,
players need. A lot of players on Green Bay need some more confidence, and I think this will be a good showing for them.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, playing in London, it's a bit of pressure. It's a different environment, no home field advantage. I just think Aaron Rodgers is better in those kind of situations than Daniel Jones is. So 7.5 is a lot. I'd feel much better about this if it was like a 3 or a 4.5.
Yeah, I'd feel better.
But I still
if this went into double digits, I'd have to pick.
I'd have to pick New York. Yeah. Just I think Green Bay wins this game, but there's a very good chance New York keeps it close. They're playing good football. They really are. And Saquon.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good game. For anyone that doesn't know, this is gonna be in the morning.
Yeah, it'll be 9:30
morning football game.
Eastern time. 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. It's a very weird time slot and it's also, I think, the first time in NFL history that there's 2 weeks back to back with a London game. Because we had a London game last Sunday as well. I think this is the first time we've had 2 back to back. But anyway, yeah, Green Bay. It just feels like the right call, but it could go either way. Next up, we got Detroit heading to the Patriots. Patriots are 3-point favorites, which actually surprises me because they're on their 3rd string quarterback.
It does.
Because Zappy's going to be in there. And I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's Jared Goff. But the Lions are playing good football. The Lions are always close in games. Always close in games. I don't feel right taking New England here, so I'm taking Detroit. I think Detroit probably wins this game.
So I'm also taking Detroit, but just as a potential explanation for why people might be thinking, Patriots have they have a good chance of winning this game. It's still Bill Belichick. You know, it's still his team, his system, and it tends to get wins. And I think a lot of people look at that as, you know, it's Bill Belichick versus whatever team they're playing.
Yeah, and I get that, but let's also look at it from this perspective. They lost last week to a Green Bay team that doesn't necessarily have the best weapons, and Detroit does.
Yeah.
I mean, Amon-Ra might be top 5 receiver in the league. If we're being honest.
Yeah. No, he's pretty good.
So I'm just saying, I don't know. And I mean, our boy Williams finna put a hurting on them. I'm just saying. So Detroit, I'm taking Detroit. You taking Detroit?
Yep. Moving on to this Chargers at the Browns. Browns getting 2 points. What you think?
I don't think it's enough personally. I think that the Chargers are the better team with the significantly better quarterback, the better defense. I think the biggest threat is Nick Chubb for Cleveland. I think if they can establish that running game, it could be bad signs and bad omens for the Chargers. But the Chargers just had a big game where they were getting ran on a lot, and I think they're gonna kind of lock it down a little bit, enough so that Jacoby Brissett is gonna have to throw the ball more than he's comfortable, and I think that's where the Chargers kind of eke it out by more than 2.
I'm thinking a bit of the opposite. I think Nick Chubb is going to have a bit of a field day. I think that's going to open up Brissett for a lot better, more accurate, more confident throws, especially if they get some play action going where they really confuse that Chargers defense. Mm-hmm. And I think the Browns take it.
I will say this.
Points aside.
I will say this. The Browns need to get Amari Cooper more involved if they want to win football games.
It's true.
They need to. So, let's move on. So I'm taking the Chargers. You're taking Cleveland.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville getting 7. All right. Well, damn. I mean, I agree, but damn. Houston getting 7. That's a lot. It's not enough.
It's not.
Jacksonville's impressive.
Yeah, Jacksonville's been playing impressively. Houston has flashes that, oh, wait, are they going to be a good football team? And then they crash and burn, and they're not a good football team.
I would also just like to establish with the Raiders winning last week, Houston is officially the only team without a win right now. But
which could matter. Motivation, I just don't think it will.
But they're not 0-4 because they tied with Indy in week 1. Yikes. Yeah, Jacksonville. I think that's simple enough. Let's move on.
Falcons at the Bucks. The Falcons getting 10 points.
I hate double-digit spreads.
10 whole points.
I hate double-digit spreads. I hate them so much. but it's not enough.
I mean,
it's not enough.
They got Kyle Pitts out there, man.
Yeah, and they're using him as a fucking blocker, which is so irritating. That man deserves better. He could be the best tight end in the league if he wasn't a blocking tight end when he's not supposed to be. Now, that being said, he could be the best tight end, but let's be honest. If I had to say right now, definitively, who's the best tight end in the league, I'm saying Mark Andrews. I know most people probably say Kels. I'm going Andrews. I think Andrews is more dangerous than Kels. I do. I think Kels has benefited from having Patrick Mahomes.
Probably.
But I think Mark Andrews
is a dog.
He's a monster. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about right now. It had to be said. It's not enough.
No, it's not.
Tampa needs to get back on form, and this is the game to do it.
Yeah. But could easily see it going the other way with this spread because Tampa has not been playing great.
It's also a divisional game, and those are always random.
We're going with Tampa.
But I don't feel great about it. Another ridiculously large spread. Pittsburgh on their way to Buffalo. Buffalo minus 14. Not enough. It's not. Buffalo, in my opinion, is the Super Bowl favorite for the AFC.
Yeah.
They're my team for the AFC, and we'll get to who my team currently for the NFC is. But right now, Buffalo is my number one pick for the AFC team, closely followed by Kansas City.
Yeah, I think they probably win by like 20.
If not more. They might. I mean, let's just keep in mind what they did to the fucking Rams in week 1.
Yeah.
And the Rams are way better than Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's putting in Pickett as their starter this week. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Kenny Pickett. But it's going to take some time for him to understand how to play NFL football. It just is. I mean, man threw an interception on his second play ever.
This will probably be a really good game for him to get that experience.
Yeah, because
you're not just going against any team.
He's going to get the shit beat out of him.
I mean, trial by fire, right?
But he lost to the Jets last week, and if he lost to the Jets last week, he's going to get throttled by the Bills this week. That's where I stand. So
speaking of the Jets, they are hosting Miami. And they're getting 3.5 points.
It's always rough being a home underdog.
Yeah.
Is it justified with Tua being out? Or with Tua being out, should this be leaning towards the Jets?
I don't think it should be.
They've been playing really good football though.
But Miami isn't just replacing their starting quarterback with anybody.
Scrub, yeah.
They're getting Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridge.
I
love Teddy Bridge. I do.
He's fun to watch. I enjoy watching this man play football. So I got to give it to Miami. Yeah. I think they're just going to keep the ball rolling. Hopefully things start looking better for Tua, but he is a great guy holding it down for him.
I agree, and I think this is a good time for Tua to have gotten hurt. Like, obviously, there's no time where somebody should ever get hurt, but if there was ever a time to lose your starting quarterback against the Jets is probably the time.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. So let's move on. We got the Bears. The Bears on their way to Minnesota, play against the Vikings. The Bears are getting 7.5. Do I think Minnesota's the better team? Yes. Do I think Minnesota probably wins this game?
Yes.
Yes. Is it a divisional game that could probably be really close?
Yes.
And for that, I'm taking Chicago with the spread.
Agreed.
Agreed. What's next?
Titans traveling to Washington. and Washington's getting 2 points.
2.
They should probably be given
20.
more. I mean,
they're bad. They're bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're bad.
Titans.
Agreed.
I
don't have much.
Hail King Henry. Moving
Facts. King Henry back on his shit this year.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. King Henry was on his shit last year until he got hurt. Man,
that's true.
Like, look, if y'all don't respect King Henry, and you need a reason to understand why King Henry's a fucking problem, the man went down early in the season.
What was it, week 4 or 5?
I don't remember what week it was. That's why I didn't say a number. But I know man went down, and 5 weeks later was still leading the league in rushing. Still.
Dumb.
Like, if you are not going to put respect on his name, you are not a football fan. You're tripping. I don't even like Tennessee. King Henry's a problem.
Yep.
A problem. And if you don't respect him, you don't respect real football. I'm gonna call it like it is. That's facts. Because the man is a monster. Anyway, let's move on.
We got next.
Seattle heading down to New Orleans. Getting 5 against New Orleans. I'm going to be real. Jameis Winston's out. Well, he's doubtful. Probably out. Andy Dalton's the starter. Michael Thomas out. Geno Smith, top 3 in passer rating. Top number 1 in starters for completion percentage so far this year for starting quarterbacks. Geno playing good football. And the Saints got Andy Dalton.
If the Saints want to win this game, their defense are going to need to be on they shit.
And they ain't going to be, so I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah. Also taking Seattle.
All right. What's next?
San Fran is traveling to the Carolinas, playing the Panthers.
Which one,
and the Panthers are getting the North.
Okay.
Do you know a South Carolina professional football team?
No, but I've always thought it was weird that they call them the Carolina Panthers and don't pick like a North or a South. I know that they're in North Carolina, but I always just found that kind of weird. I also don't personally, this is just me. I know we're on a little side tangent, but I think this is important. I don't like that there are 2 teams, technically 4, but 2 teams really, that are named after the state and not the city. Because if we're being honest, like New York, the Jets and the Giants, it's New York City. Even though they're not even in New York State. They play in New Jersey, if we're being honest about it real quick. Like, they play in East Rutherford. Like, if we're just being completely honest, the New York Jets and Giants don't even play in that state. But that's not what we're here about. Like, I've never been a fan, personally, of Carolina using the state, Minnesota using the state, and I also don't like that Washington doesn't just use DC. Anyway, my bad.
You can put your soapbox away now. We're trying to do some football picks.
My bad. Am I wrong?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Is that fair? Why did they need the whole state?
Oh, God. Okay.
The Panthers took 2 states.
San Fran at Panthers. I got San Francisco. I think they're playing better ball. Panthers haven't been doing much.
North Carolina, South Carolina, both Carolinas. Give me San Fran. Fuck it. It's fucking bullshit. What do we got next? All right. We got the Eagles heading to the Cardinals. Cardinals getting 5. I don't think it's enough. I think as it stands, Philadelphia is the NFC favorite. And I hate that because I'm a Cowboys fan. But I'm not one of those Cowboys fans that pretends that our division is all just worse than us and that we're the best no matter what, even when, we're losing games and shit.
I mean, even when the Eagles didn't play their best, they didn't play their best last week. They still came out with that dub.
They won. They're the only team left undefeated.
Yep.
And Brett and I kind of looked at this a little bit before we did this. Their schedule's light.
They might stay undefeated.
Like real talk, unless Dallas can get a win out of one of their 2 meetings, or maybe the Giants because it's a divisional game, or the Packers because the Packers and the Eagles play, and I think it was like week 11. Unless the Packers, Dallas, or the Giants can eke out a win, there's a real chance Philly goes undefeated. And worst case scenario, looking at their schedule, I don't see them going any worse than 13-4. Worst case scenario, unless an injury happens, which nobody's wishing for. Even though I don't like them, I would never wish an injury on somebody. Maybe a suspension, but not an injury.
It could all change with this game, though, where the Cardinals with Kyler Murray coming back.
It could. Maybe if his aim when he throws the football was as good as his aim in Call of Duty, then he'd have a chance, but he doesn't. Jalen Hurts is finna walk all over this team. I'm taking Philly. Not happy about it.
Also taking Philly.
I'm taking Philly to remain undefeated. Moving on.
And now,
oh shit!
Real
quick. Oh shit! Didn't even think about it. My bad. New Orleans. Going back a couple games. New Orleans. Just want to wish you extra luck so you can continue your journey in the Bird Gauntlet. My apologies. I just wanted to.
We don't think you're gonna win, but good luck.
Good luck. Anyway, all right. What was next? Oh, Dallas at the Rams. The Rams minus 5.5. I'm sorry. The Bird Gauntlet's exciting to me because it's dumb, and I like dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like you. Dallas getting 5.5 at the Rams. Thoughts?
Dallas's defense is on fire. LA's offense has been,
shaky
at best. That I think that's an uphill battle for LA.
Is it fair to say Dallas might have the best defense in the league?
It's fair.
Like,
I'd say it's fair.
Like, they might have the best defense in the league. I think they have the best defensive player.
So
Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Stafford got sacked seven times
against
the last game. I don't think that.
That's not fair. Your next game's against Dallas.
Your next game's against Dallas? Yeah, it's not fair. I say Dallas takes this.
I agree. I think Dallas takes it outright.
Spread's not enough.
I think Dallas takes it outright.
But they're getting
points. That's not even fair. I think Dallas wins this game outright. Let's move on. What's our Sunday night football game, Brett?
The Bengals.
The Bengals.
Not
the Bears.
With Joe Burrow.
Bengals.
No.
Ooh,
The Bengals.
With Joe Cool?
With Joe Burrow. Mr. Cool.
All right.
Going against Lamar Jackson and the Eagles.
And the what?
Eagles minus 3.5. Sir, we're not going to. By Eagles, I mean Ravens.
All right, I'm like, we're not gonna walk past the fact you say Eagles twice.
I'm a bit jet lagged. Leave me alone.
We're not gonna walk past the fact you say Eagles twice. There's a big ass B.
I did. I did say Eagles twice.
Anyway,
Ravens.
There we go.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Lamar is playing at MVP caliber.
He is.
But his team's still losing.
Yeah. Fortunately for them, the Bengals, nothing about them have been playing at MVP caliber.
I mean, they've been getting better. They're on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah, they've been getting a bit better. I'm still seeing like a shell of last year's team. And I don't think the Ravens are the team that they continue that streak on.
I don't either.
I think the Ravens take this one.
Whoever wins this game puts themselves in first place in the division.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be Baltimore.
Agreed.
By more than 3.5. I think it'll be a fun game.
Sure.
Might be the most fun game of the weekend, if we're being honest.
Potentially.
But that's not enough, in my opinion. So let's move on to Monday Night Football. In another case of not enough, if we're being honest. The Las Vegas Raiders are on their way to the Kansas City Chiefs, getting 7. The Chiefs fresh off a win in a rematch from their Super Bowl loss to the Buccaneers, where Patrick Mahomes showed why he is Patrick Mahomes, doing ridiculous shit. I don't know if anybody saw it, but if you didn't see what happened last week, the highlight of the game, you need to go watch it. Patrick Mahomes fakes going for a run, hits somebody with a spin move before getting to the line of scrimmage, and then chucks the ball into the end zone.
It was disgusting.
It was so rude.
Disgusting.
It was so hurtful. And I loved every second of it. Patrick Mahomes is so entertaining.
They're all playing Madden. This man's out there playing NFL Street.
Fact. Hey, real talk, NFL Street deserves a revival, in my opinion. I'm just saying. That game was super fun. And nobody remembers it for some reason. It's like it got deleted from the memory log. And it was so fun. Anyway.
And for the record, this game here could also be very fun. If the Raiders,
play
fix
like
they
they
stuff,
should.
They start playing like the team that we expected them to be at the beginning of the season, this should be a really fun game. But I got to give it to KC. They're just the better team right now. They're playing better. It's not much of a conversation.
No, I agree. I think KC wins this handily. But I'd be happy to be proven wrong and get a great Monday Night Football game to watch.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that is it for our picks this week. For those of you paying attention, Brett and I differed on one pick, and that was the Chargers at the Browns. So, if the Chargers could do your boy a solid, it would tie Brett and I up on the season. Realistically, what's going to happen is the Chargers are going to win by 2. And we're going to get another push. Because every push that's happened so far this season has been a game Brett and I disagreed on. Every push. All 3 have been games Brett and I disagreed on. My chances to catch up are being robbed of me. It's bullshit.
You got to earn them chances, man.
Fuck you. But that'll do it, guys. This is week 5. Keep that in mind. Not week 3, just because Brett hasn't been here. This is week 5.
5. We're on 5.
5. Let us know your picks in the comments. Going forward, I think this is going to be our new system. We're going to go ahead and comment on this video, our pick for next Thursday's game. And then record.
Every single Thursday, we're going to comment on this video here.
Yes, correct. This video. No. Going forward, we're going to comment our picks for the Thursday game on Thursday on the previous week's video. That way we can give you the most up-to-date picks. Because then on Friday, we can record this and get the most up-to-date picks for everything and not be in a rush to put it out super early after the week has just ended. It gives us time to really understand the development of things. I think it's a better system going forward. So going forward, that's what we're going to try and do. So expect to see these out on Fridays and Saturdays going forward. And keep an eye out in the comments for our picks on the following Thursday night games. Let us know what your picks are for the rest of this week and for next Thursday's game when that kind of rolls around. Tell us if you think we're tripping on some of these picks, if we're overestimating any teams, underestimating any teams, properly estimating any teams, whatever you think.
And here's my question for you. It's the question we've been pondering. So I want some responses. Are the Rams good? Think about that.
Yeah. Think about it. Sit on it. You can even wait until after their game with Dallas.
Yep.
To let us know your thoughts, but
put them in the comments.
Brett and I have been talking about it a lot, and I think this game against Dallas is going to tell us a lot about if the Rams are actually good or not. And, while we're thinking about it, ask yourself if Cincy's good. Are either of last year's Super Bowl teams good? Do either of them make the playoffs this year? I don't know. It's only week 5.
We'll see.
But that's going to do it for us, guys. We appreciate y'all. Brett, why don't you take us out of here? Since you're probably not going to be here next week with your lazy ass.
Goodbye, motherfuckers.
See ya.